Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between the Melodies, a podcast series all about music. We dive behind the scenes with studio stories, discussing how artists navigate their own journeys, all the way to industry insights with record labels. And today we have a very special guest, all the way from Spain, trance producer, DJ, and the founder of Be Mine Records, and over more than 15 years in the scene with an impressive catalog, and most recently with his new release included on the annual A State of Trance compilation. So please welcome Dim3nsion.
Hi there. Hope you're good. Thanks for having me. I hope you're fine. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, would you maybe want to introduce yourself a little bit more to our listeners?
Yeah, for those who don't know me, I start to make music like around, I don't remember. Yeah, I'm pretty old, but more than 20 years ago. But officially, my first release, it was in December of 2008. And then in 2009, I started to release more often during the year and start to to having some releases on Armada, which was amazing. Get supported, and then the ball grow up. And 5 years later, something like that, I start to work with Ferry Corsten in management. I grow up a lot. I learn a lot with them. I start to DJing, and yeah, then COVID stopped for everyone, and I restart my career alone. But I'm pretty happy because I can make living from music, which is a dream. Uh, I'm feeling like my music is working better than ever. I feel so comfortable making any kind of music. I feel like I can do whatever I want, which is amazing. And yeah, it's I'm on a happy place right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love your recent tracks. It's been really amazing, and I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. And there's a lot to unpack. So I think to start off, let's do some quick fire questions so that our
All
listeners
right.
can get a feel for who Dim3nsion is. So the first question is there a particular element or sound in a song that makes it a signature Dim3nsion production?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. Maybe that's something that the listeners need to tell me. But I'm always try to put melodies on it because
Mm.
I love electronic dance music, but into electronic dance music, I love melodies, and trance is the king for melodies. But the beautiful for me for trance music is that melodies, and it's a fusion from a lot of different styles, but with
Mm.
melodies. So it's what I could call my signature zone. The melodies, the big arpeggios like from origami or mangata and this stuff. But I like to diversify my zone and make different things. What I'm doing a lot is when I have in some gig and I play my music, I can realize maybe the crow is asking or they need this type of vibe. I don't have any kind of song like this vibe, so I really need to make this type of vibe, and it's sometimes how I work.
Yeah, I mean that's a really interesting insight about playing the song out loud and seeing like how the crowd responds as well. It can tell you a lot, I think.
Yeah. It's a great emotion on it.
Yeah. And the next one, if someone is discovering your music for the first time, which track do you think they should start with?
Oh, good question. I don't know because probably a lot of people will say origami.
Hmm.
Maybe I will say vortex because
Oh,
it's
okay.
something different from me, completely different from me. I can't say it's 100% original because there is a lot of other songs doing the same type of the sequence, but it's kind of different vibe and unique vibe in my opinion. So maybe that track, but it's not a track that represents me because at the end it doesn't have the big emotion on it.
Hmm.
It's a really club ready track. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, maybe I just thinking on the recent tracks, and this one I really enjoy making it, and it's a really solid track for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I heard it, it was very different to anything that was there at the time. To be fair, I didn't even know that it was your record. I think Armin played it at the Estate of Trance, I think,
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
On Rotterdam, yeah.
yeah, maybe this is different, but what's one release that I think means the most to you today?
Uh, Probably Origami, yeah,
Mm.
because Origami changed everything for me. I mean, I started to DJing. I had a debut with Ferry Corsten and Minister of Sound in 2015, and it Origami start a trend, which the story is beautiful because at the end, already was working 1 year, I think, only with Ferry Corsten on
Mm.
management and the people around. And for me it was like a dream because they
Yeah.
really was helping me and giving me good advices and everything. It was awesome experience. So I really missed the Ferry Corsten of the Guriella era.
Mm.
So I really wanted to make a track that reminds Ferry to that Guriella era, and with emotion and with a beautiful emotion on it, like saying thank you for everything what you're doing for me. And Origami come, and then Ferry start the new project, the comeback of Guriella.
Mm.
Armin start again with Reason start and a lot of different names. And when we send the promotion to other DJs like Alien Fila, Armin, everybody was trying to guessing who was the artist behind Origami, and everybody was believing it was Guriella.
Mm.
And then when suddenly we announced it was Dimension behind, it was amazing because it really gets viral on social media. I get hundreds of messages every
Wow.
day during a few weeks, something like that, and nobody really has in mind that it was Dimension.
Yeah, that's really cool story. The next question is, what's your favorite hobby or a thing you'd like to do most outside of music?
No, I love music. I still enjoy after so many years, but it's also important for my mind,
Mm.
to switch to other hobbies and make different stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm a guy who is easily start to lose time with different type of things. So lately I'm when I was young, I played a lot to racing games on
Oh, okay.
PlayStation, but I changed music for video games, and now I'm starting to play games again. So lately, I'm playing a lot on sim racing. So yeah, I'm really big fan of that kind of games.
Okay. And then the last of the questions is, what would you recommend someone visiting your home country or your hometown for the first time to visit?
Oh, hard question. Not hard, but so many things to do. I mean, I'm living in Galicia, which is not really popular because when you
Mm.
ask someone what did they know about Spain, they say or Ibiza or Mediterranean, Barcelona and Madrid. And I live in the other corner of Spain, right above Portugal. So it's a bit of a no place,
Mm.
but full of beaches, beautiful beaches and small ones, big ones, cool weather. It's not really hot in summer, but neither really cold in winter. So and it's a small city at the end. It's easily to go around in few 3 days and see a lot of
Mm.
things. So just visit Vigo and enjoy because I'm really proud of and lucky for living here
Mm.
and born and raised here.
Yeah, that's cool to hear. And now I think let's go a bit deeper into your story. So let's go back to your early days. And how did you first get into music production?
Yeah, there is a story behind as well. When I was really young, I have a brother 6 years older than me,
Mm.
and he has a small keyboard that every dad or every father's give this as present for a kid to see if they like music or whatever. And I really like, and I really enjoy play the piano.
Mm.
And I have something in myself that I thought that everybody was able to do it, but it was not true. That it's hear something, hear a melody, and be able to play.
Mm.
I realized years later that not everybody is able to do that. And then after playing this type of things, I discovered trance music on radio. It's incredible, but I discovered trance music on radio in Spain, which is not the best place for trance music. And then I say, wow, it was Guriela, System F, Out of the Blue, and this type of tracks. And I say, wow, this is the music I really love. And then I start to get in touch with the software through serials pack. You know, there is always on the kids serials. Back in the days, I'm not sure nowadays. If you send 3 points or whatever, you get like a CD of a software. It was called Top of the Mix, Top of the Pops Mix Factory, and it's just a software with samples that you can put on the arrangement view and play with them, but you can't create anything. But it was the first time I was in touch with that kind of software. And after that, I started to be curious because I really wanted to make my own thing, my own melodies. And I discovered other software like Technomaker, XXL, and also after that, FL Studio. I think it was FL Studio 2 or 3, which was my first one. And till nowadays.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, do you still like maybe create melodies on the piano first before you like actually bring it to play on like the synths or something like that?
Yeah, sometimes I spend a lot of time playing my piano, maybe piano or maybe just super soul doing arpeggios. And other times when I'm really want to get the vibe first, the groove, the bass, the kick, and the percussion. Then I first I go for that, and then I go for the melodies. And but I'm also trying to play something over the music, and it's not kind of Giuseppe Ottaviani style because I never record what I play live and then put it, but I play it and I play over the music and then I put it on the piano roll and this stuff.
I see. Cool. And now looking back on your journey, I mean, obviously, like you said, like nearly, I think, 20 years or so. If you could sit down with your younger self at the very start, what would be like one lesson you want to pass on?
Think more as company and as future. I mean, because I think one of the biggest problems, not problem at all, but is that when you start to make music, Joe, and things happen, um, you still think it's your hobby or you still think it's your passion, but over the years you still feeling the same, and not everybody is able to think that it's your business. So you need to keep your passion alive and enjoy music, but you need to live from something. And if you can make a live from music, it's the best because you are gonna still be happy and get passion for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably think more like a company, but it's hard because at the end nobody tells you how to handle an artist career, or
Yeah.
it's pretty hard. But yeah.
I think, yeah, because the last time I spoke to Dennis Shepard, and then he also said like very similar about having this sort of business mindset to it as well, and you have to sort of put in a bit of actual investment to get like the quality of your output to look professional. So yeah, I think like you say, maybe producers at the start they don't think like this, but after some time, I think it would really benefit just to sort of grow your career like that.
Yeah, it's true. I think there are people that naturally they have that kind of mindset on himself, but there are other people, which could be me, myself, that they just go following the passion and don't think more than that. And in my case, I had a really cool management on the past with Ferry and the people around. I learned a lot, but I was just living the moment. I was not
Mm,
thinking maybe in 5 years or in 10 years, maybe I'm not working with these people and I
mm,
need to make things myself. So that's something I start to do when I decide to left the
mm.
management. But before that, sometimes I start to think like that, but I was not putting everything on it, and I was still learning about it. So, yeah, it's complicated, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and now on a similar note, in terms of sort of vision for the future. So I know like the trance scene has obviously shifted quite a lot over the past couple of years, and it's moving really fast. So with that in mind, like what sort of vision or strategy do you have for Dimension? Like, do you see where you want to take your sound in the next couple of years?
about the music. I have pretty clear on my mind
Mm,
because, as I said before, I'm really versatile on the studio, so I can
mm,
make whatever I want. So.
yeah,
Um, Meanwhile, I'm trying to evolution my zone. I'm also trying to follow the trends at the same time creating my own one, which
yeah,
is the hardest thing in in the world. Um, but yeah, I think everybody's now harder, like old school,
mm,
and my direction is not that old school. Sometimes I really enjoy making that type of tracks, but especially with the melodies on trance music on the uplifting side, I feel like still nowadays everybody's trying the same type of melodies. So it's where
mm,
I trying to be different, but it's really hard. At the end, it's like producer like us on the trance scene. We normally hate mainstream records or pop
okay, yeah,
records, and we say it's really easy because they are just one finger melody and blah blah.
mm,
But at the end, it's the hardest thing of the world because make a melody with just that you can play with just one finger is the hardest thing in your life because at the time you are trying to discover something new, a lot of songs come to you, so a lot of time you are thinking that you are creating something new, but it's that song that it's on your on your memory. And yeah, it's hard, but yeah, that's where I want to go. and
oh,
and and,
yeah,
and a lot of vocals. Yeah, lately i'm
awesome.
i'm doing a lot of vocals.
Yeah, and well, leading on nicely in terms of your strategy, I wanted to ask about Be Mind Records, obviously your label, and recently, just earlier this year, celebrated the 100th release. So you've mentioned, I think before, that starting a label was on your mind for a long time, but you never found the right time to do it. So what made you decide to take that step and start Be Mind Records?
Yeah, well, because when I was working on the management with Ferry, I was really following the paths we had together. And the label was one of them, but for that time, I still don't have the knowledge for
Mm,
making it, and I was really busy with music production. So it's like, or I'm focused on the production, or I'm focused on the label. And on that time, for me, one of the most important thing for an artist is build a continuous stream of releases. That
mm,
means having at least one release per month. Nowadays, if you can make even every 3 months, 3 weeks, it's even better. But the problem is that when you are not under a label, like I was under Flashover Recordings in the past, it's really hard to synchronize your releases with other
yeah,
labels because a lot of labels will reject your tracks. That means that you will have tracks that nobody wants. You know perfectly that when you send a track to a record label, it can take 1 month, 3 months, or 1 year to get a reply. If sometimes, I mean, a lot of times you don't get replies,
yeah,
but when you get signed, probably 6 months or between 3 and 8 months, I would say, until your track is released.
Mm.
So it's really hard to build a continuous stream of releases. And having your own label, uh, create that opportunity. You can build your schedule whatever you want. Plus, the beautiful thing about music, which is discover new music, discover new artists, and try to help. I wish to be arming and have my big show and everything to can push other artists I love, like you, for example. But it's really hard. But can release tracks from artists like you and can play on my show and trying to help to make more plays on Spotify or whatever. It's beautiful for me. So yeah, I really like discover new music. That feeling, it's one of the most beautiful feelings for me. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
mean,
two big reasons.
yeah, like the same on the artist side. So I mean, for me, like, I really appreciate like the all the support from the label, and it's really cool to see people pick up your tracks and to see them being played. So that's again, it's also an amazing feeling.
Yeah, at the end, you spend a lot of times yourself alone in your studio making music. So when someone really like it and put on value and show you that track to the world, it's amazing feelings because you get your work approved.
And now, from your perspective as a label owner, so what sort of working relationship does a label look for when working with an artist? Like, what does a good relationship look like, and what do labels expect from the artist that they sign?
Well, for me, one of the most important things is um, communication
Mm.
and honestly. Of course, music is everything. I mean, we can have a good communication and honestly, but if the track is not a good one, there is nothing to do. But I really love to stay in touch with artists, try to have a fast communication,
Mhm.
um, try to be honest as well, and with everything. You have been on the mind, so you know that we love to send every month the statements and show the transparency of the label
Mhm.
world with the artist. Um, and a lot of labels, from my experience, maybe they are not fair enough because there is a lot of hidden things or the contracts are really complicated, and we don't like to do that. I think it's music. A lot of artists are not professional from the industry, so we don't need super big contracts and difficult contracts to cover everything but the basics and make things easy for the artists, because a lot of artists we sign are new guys who really want to put their music out, and a lot of them, they are really talented. So it's important to give them the opportunity. Again, I wish to be a big name to give them more exposure, but unfortunately I'm not there, at least for now. So yeah, I think it's important because those people, especially who are really talented, if you give the opportunity, they are gonna get motivated. They are gonna send you more music. So probably some of those artists are the guys who are gonna be responsible that your label is bigger than
Mm.
nowadays. So that's my mindset for now, for that.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and I think, yeah, like you sort of mentioned, like this two-way relationship. Like you wanna make sure that you're transparent with the artist, but at the same time, it's also the artists are very important. They contribute towards like the growth of the label. So it's really important to have that strong connection, a good two-way relationship, and from both sides.
Yeah, it's how we feel as well with my partner on the label, and yeah, I'm really happy nowadays how the label is going. So working on the next steps.
Yeah, great. And now I want to zoom into something a bit more practical because you've got so much going on at any one time. So obviously, your music, the label stuff. You also do things like with Be Mine Academy or like your Patreon. You also have like your community on Discord, and then on top of that, your radio show as well. So that's a lot of things. And so, what does a typical day or like a week actually look like for you? Like, how do you balance writing new music, running the label, handling like promotion, and still making time to do all these things?
Yeah, I'm the what I like the most is make music, of course, and I also really enjoy making music for other artists, like Ghost Productions, because at the end it's you alone in the studio, your time, your your piece, and making music. But sometimes, for example, in the mornings, I spend a lot of times with emails or checking demos or contracts or a lot of stuff that maybe there I don't have 50 emails per day, maybe 10, but it's crazy because 10 emails can take like 3 hours. It's crazy sometimes. It's not every
Yeah,
day like that. And sometimes I like trying to keep everything to give me space for the music.
yeah,
But then I need to do this video for Patreon or reply new message on the Discord community or whatever, So there is always things to be busy. But yeah, what I really like the most is make music. So I'm trying to get organized about in the mornings I make emails. I do check demos or track feedbacks or whatever, and then after lunch or at night especially I really like to make music and my own music, not other music.
yeah.
And have I'm trying always to have that little spice of time for me.
Yeah, I think that's really important to sort of not get carried away with all the other stuff and end up with no time to work on your music at all. Because at the end of the day, that's like maybe the most important thing or the most passionate thing, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, at the beginning I was like that, and I was realizing that, you know, I say like, okay, this week I have to finish this track and the other one, and start to develop this idea, and then it's Friday, I'm
yeah,
still didn't touch any of my tracks, and it's
yeah,
like, okay, maybe I can slower other things and be most constantly with my own stuff, and yeah, definitely it works.
yeah. And again, one of the things that you do is obviously your radio show, Dimension Selection, which also I think towards the end of last year that surpassed 500 episodes. So another huge
Yeah.
milestone. And I think that's nearly 10 years. I think that would be 500
Ye-
episodes.
y- Yeah, yeah. I think more than five. Yeah. Because I think I started in 2016 or something like that. I mentioned
Yeah.
selection.
Yeah. So what does hosting a weekly show for that long like teach you about the state of the scene? Does it give you maybe like a different perspective to other artists? Do you think?
I do because I really love make it, and I like to discover new music.
Yeah.
So I have a friend of mine who is checking my promos, and he saved the best ones on a folder. So then I check uh, all the tracks from this week and I put it on a playlist, and then I select the 15 best records for me on an order that works for the show. I normally start slower and
Yeah.
finish harder. So I'm always trying to make mixes that works on that the key works together, and I do especially because this way I'm updated with the new music.
Yeah.
I'm updated with what my favorite artists are doing or what people is releasing the trends, and that's the main reason because if you keep working music and you are just focused on your ideas, you disconnect from the world. I mean, you can check Spotify, you can check your release radar, but release radar is not showing you all the tracks released
Yeah.
by your favorite labels or your best labels in the world right now, and I really like to stay connected with that. So that's the main reason. and also because it's really beautiful to play tracks from other artists, support them, and also have a space for support yourself and play your records, because I really enjoy DJing as well.
Yeah, of course. And I spoke to, other people as well, and it's all about sort of your love for the music, just sharing what you like, and then, I'm sure that someone on the other side is gonna, love that too.
Yeah, I discover a lot of people or artists, clients, fans who are listening every week Dimension Selection. And it's beautiful because at the end, you even are making the show for those guys because
Yeah.
they are really looking forward to the next episode. So yeah, it's beautiful. It takes some time because select tracks, mix it, their work, the video for YouTube and everything. It takes time, but it's beautiful. I think really worth.
Well, I think we're coming up on time, unfortunately. It's been a brilliant conversation, one I've been looking forward for a long time. So to close off, we're just going to do our shout out section, which is always a highlight. So for the first artist or group, who would you say is like a one to watch or a rising star in the scene?
Um, it's a really hard question because there is a lot of new artists out
Yeah.
there, and um, and new ones because I remember a conversation with one of my best friends who say that if you watch, for example, a state of trance from
Mm,
15 years ago when I started, a lot of artists who were getting playing massively there, they are not nowadays making music.
mm, yeah.
It's Dim3nsion, it's Mark Sixma, and some others, but not a lot of the classics. I mean, Sebastian Brand, for example, Airbase is now back making music, but he always has like periods. But Andy Roger, for example, I'm a big fan of him because
Yeah.
he makes the music himself. He's always really creative. He's always trying to find something new. So it's a big name for me in terms of creativity and everything. And also, for example, Stan V is a really
Mm,
good talent for me. I really love his music, so and he's on Be Mine as well. So
yeah.
it's a good name. And yeah, but so many. It's really hard to mention everyone.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much music out there. Of your label introducing maybe like a new artist sort of every week, maybe every couple of weeks. So there's a lot of people out there. Lastly, is there someone you'd love to see as a guest on this podcast to share their story?
Um, I'm thinking. Not sure. Maybe Drift Moon could have a
Oh,
good
okay.
story to tell you. Um, and yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do to perhaps get Drift Moon on the podcast. That'll be another really cool episode. Now, before we wrap up, let's just look ahead into the rest of 2026. So you've had a very strong start to the year with a lot of releases. And is there anything you can tease your fans about what's still to come this year?
Well, I'm still motivated to keep working and focus the music towards the gigs because at the end my ultimate goal is having gigs, but it's a really hard thing.
Yeah.
It's but I'm still motivated for that. So for now, I just want to keep making music that I really love, music that really DJs can play on a club, on a festival, or whatever. But also, I really love to make other type of tracks that are more Spotify focused, or I really need the diversify my music because when I make an uplifting track, for example. Once I finish, I really need to make other softer because it like reset my mind. So, but yeah, the main goal is go for those tracks that every DJ wants to play,
Mm,
like Rimosa. For
yeah.
example, it's a track that everybody wants to play, and it's an amazing feeling. So that's where I want to go for this year and probably the next one as well. So that's my main goal.
Cool. I'm really looking forward to whatever new releases you have still to come. And yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you join on the podcast. And yeah, that's it for this episode of Between the Melodies. As always, make sure you follow us and leave us your thoughts. And yeah, until next time.
Thank you, mate.